Hi everyone, number one Marmaduke fan here, and right now I'm looking at Captain Atom and Blue Beetle number 20 from way back in October 1988. By the way, I never knew that thing about the dates on the covers, that the comics were actually released at least a month before the dates on the covers. That was something I learned from my boy Zach, since I never went to the comic book store as a kid because I didn't have a comic book store as a kid. Someone edit the world's smallest violin in here. Anyway, this is one of the free comic books I got, and this is kind of a lame cover. I don't think I would have been inclined to buy it if I was paying my own money. But so I pick it up, and same old cheesy 80s art ads that I like to see and not get nostalgic about, but just think about a time before I existed. And this comic has a few too many flash forwards and flashbacks and flash sideways for my taste, but it's a fun, heroes teaming up to fight a bad guy story where the moral quandaries the heroes face are things like being honest with someone, or not telling the complete truth. They're telling the truth but not telling the complete truth, and they feel moral anguish about that. These are heroic characters whose problems and squabbles are kind of at the level of office politics, and not the level of a bunch of heroes murdering each other in the third big superhero war. But so the premise is that Captain Atom and Blue Beetle are bestest buddies. They're old chums, and here's Mr. Miracle. Now that I know who he is from the Tom King series, it's fun seeing him in these old books, and they're all wondering, gee, why are they such chums? And then, I know this is a title page, and title pages are supposed to be symbolic, but let's keep track. So in the present, flash back to the past, flash forward to not the present, but the middle between the past and the present. And then Captain Atom has been accused in the past of being a participant in some kind of drug ring in Vietnam, and he wants to clear his name. So he goes to Blue Beetle to get some help in clearing his name, and Blue Beetle's miffed at him because he's somehow discovered his secret identity, and Blue Beetle considers his secret identity sacred. And Captain Atom tells him that he was friends with the original Blue Beetle, his mentor. And so, kind of on the basis of that sentiment, he will hang out with Captain Atom because he had such affection for his mentor, and he wants to be friends with someone who was friends with the person who taught him how to superhero. And then flashback again to old school Blue Beetle, the original one from maybe even the Golden Age, at least the Silver Age, and then flash to the middle again where we've got some corporate espionage going on, and there's this there's this sweet secretary, and what's Blue Beetle's secret identity name? Good grief, I do not know my obscure DC Comics superhero secret identities. Mr. Cord. Okay, so Mr. Cord is the new Blue Beetles, the Blue Beetle of the 1980s secret identity. So Mr. Cord asks her out, and he asks her out in a very charming way. He compliments her for being on the ball and not wasting time, and then asks, what are your plans for dinner this evening, right? So here's a question, SJWs. Is this sexual harassment? Is this an example of how comic books were always about social justice warriorism? To me, I see kind of a charming and polite way of asking a pretty girl out, but I don't know. Is this rape culture here? I don't know. I'm having a hard time putting my feminist lenses on right now. Help me see through my cis heteronormative white male Christian privilege, guys. And so then he does some corporate. He leaves. So this company apparently has secrets which could exonerate Captain Atom from the drug accusations. So Blue Beetle leaves behind some equipment to spy on them and try to figure some things out. And then he almost gets killed by a taxi. And it turns out that the secretary may know something criminal that's going on, and that's why they're about to get iced. And she repents and feels sympathetic for her involvement in this, so he takes her to the police and for protection and get some information. Cool old 80s comic book sale ad. I like that little illustration. I like the bright yellow. It's really, I mean, as an ad, it's not really, it doesn't have like a shtick to catch your eye or make it memorable. It's eye-catching because it's a 2-page spread. It's bright yellow, and then it just gives you the dense yellow book information. And then they've got to go stop some nuclear submarines from blowing up a yacht, I guess. And then flashback again to this goofy, Silver Age supervillain who's torturing the old Blue Beetle, and Captain Atom comes to save him. So Captain Atom's been talking about how he's lying to Blue Beetle now. So is this completely made up? Is this a complete fiction that he's written to trick the new Blue Beetle into helping him? Or is this true? I have the feeling it's true, and the only way I'm keeping the flash forwards and the flashbacks straight at this point are the wavy bubble convention cueing me that this is a different time and place from the current time of the regular panels. And they get on some heroic adventures where they stop the submarine, and they kind of are having a bit of a squabble over Blue Beetle doesn't want the submarines destroyed, and Captain Atom accidentally destroys one because he's trying to save some lives. So this seems like a little petty thing to fight about, but Blue Beetle's chill about it, and then kind of expresses his sentiments that he loved the original Blue Beetle so much that he's not going to get, bent out of sorts over a little squabble like that. So, and then we started in media res. So now with this whole time we've been in the middle, and now we've caught up with present, right? So from present to past to medium, forward from medium to the past sometimes, then back up to the present moment. Good grief. And then, so now the in media res is over, and we're back to the present, and the building gets blown up, and the evidence which could have cleared Captain Atom's name gets destroyed, and this flashback with the old Blue Beetle ends with two superheroes calling each other chums and sharing a handshake. And it ends kind of awkwardly with Captain Atom hinting that he doesn't deserve the current Blue Beetle's friendship, and doesn't give me some resolution as to what's going on. So my educated guess is that he's lied about some aspects of the story, where maybe he was responsible for the old Blue Beetle's death or something, and he's left that out, and he's only given the new Blue Beetle sort of the chummy, fun parts of the story of his adventures with the old Blue Beetle. So I'm kind of intrigued, because I'm getting cued that there's something going on that's more to this story, but I'd have to go find a bunch of old comics to complete that tale. I guess it's a little odd because it wasn't a self-contained story, and it doesn't end on a cliffhanger to make me want to go buy the next one, but it's given me some clues as to a longer plot that's being built towards. Okay action, it wasn't like a big earth-shattering fight or anything, but fun, chummy pair of superheroes getting into some hijinks together, and dealing with truthfulness and honesty, having a fun, goofy old supervillain from the old days. But this guy isn't funny because they have someone say, "Oh, tee hee hee, you've got red, blue, and yellow dots on you. Aren't you so silly?" It's fun because we're just flashing back in time, and it's like seeing photos of your parents in the 80s or something with ridiculous 80s-rific hair, or 70s bell-bottoms and disco suits. It's funny because it's from an older time, and it's quaint, and we find humor in how different the times were back then. We don't need a ham-fisted blah ha ha, I am so polka dotty, now let me give you 8 paragraphs of, I'm still so in cringe, I'm still feeling the after cringe effects of that Master of Kung Fu comic. But I think I've had my detox. So this wasn't the greatest comic ever of some of the old ones I've been reading, but fun, and it's successful. I am intrigued to go find out about Captain Atom and Blue Beetle, friends or foes. Man, this is so like off the radar of characters I ever cared about, but charming, fun, adequate. I'm #1 Marmaduke fan. I love you guys. I'll see if I can scrounge up some more of these and see what I can find out about the series. I'll catch you guys later.